Fryevia is a very bulky bruiser character able to support your team with heals and buffs while going after your opponents with burst style damage after saving up some AP. Welcome back, guys. We're going over Fryevia today, some of her best builds, items in Espers, and cards that you can utilize on her. Thank you guys so much for spending some time here today, and thank you guys so much for supporting the channel via Patreon as well as the YouTube channel membership system. So let's go over Fryevia, the builds that we should be looking at here. Just a quick recap. She's a Spellblade, Green Mage, White Mage right now. She can equip swords, armors, helms, and accessories for you guys there. And she does have pretty bulky stats, as you'll see in these builds. The first build that we're going to tackle is a very generic build, and it's all, in my opinion, probably one of her better builds here. Now, this is going to be the Ice Brand, Mithril Armor, Florid Hairpin. So Florid Hairpin is her own Trustmaster reward. Mithril Armor is going to be an SR piece of gear, so you can farm the materials for this from story mode. You can farm the recipes for this from story mode too at your leisure. And then the Ice Brand is a harder to craft weapon, but it is going to be her best weapon in the game. So let's take a look at the Ice Brand. We're going to be going critical type here. The three types that you can go for are Vital, Assault, and Critical. Critical is just going to give you that little bit of extra crit hit rate. She is using the magic stat on here, and you're going for Ice Brand because not only does it give the slash attack up 15, it also gives you the ice attack up 30. So it's going to add 45 to the multipliers for your weapons there. The alternatives to this, you have the Magic Nagnarok, which can give you 112 magic, or you have the Sleep Blade, which gives you a little bit more than the Magic Nagnarok does on top of that. But all in all, you're trading off like 60-something magic, 70-something magic for an extra 30 mod to your skills, and the Ice Brand is going to be the way to go, especially once you have your Espers leveled up and once you have certain cards leveled up on her as well. You're going to gain a lot of magic from that, so you're going to have the bonus effect from these additional effects on the Ice Brand outweigh the little bit of extra magic thing that you'll gain in the long run there. Now, the armor here of choice here, we're going to be going with Mithril Armor. In this build, it is +5. It does not necessarily need to be +5, though. The effect you get from +5 in it is the strike resistance of 7%. And you don't necessarily need this. You can have it there, so you can get this to +2, +3. What you really want to try to do here, guys, you want to get the Evade 18. You can get 337 HP on it, though, but your HP is going to be more or less covered from the Florid Hairpin. You can gain an extra, like, 30 HP for the time being. You can also get 5 defense on it if you want to. This is kind of what I'm rolling on mine right now, but this is going to be an evasion build here for this initial build. And then the Florid Hairpin, for reference here, you have her Trustmaster reward, 322 HP, 5 defense. Like I just said, you can get that either from the Hairpin or the Mithril Armor. You're going to get it from the Hairpin eventually once you hit 99 anyhow, so you don't really need to stress out about getting that specific stat, the HP and defense, from the armor itself. This also gives you 10 Spirit and 6 Critical Void, and then it gives you the ability of Glacial Mastery, increases attack and magic by 70% for your next turn, and Wind Killer for 1 turn as well to the caster of this. Cost 24 TP, and this is going to self-buff Fryevia with these effects. Now, for the Esper that we are using here in this build, this is a dodge build. We're actually going to be using Tetrasulfide, and we're also going to be using the Shiva card. So this is going to be a dodge build here, and the support skills Emerald Echo and a Provenance of Wind with either Dispel, Counter, Magic Guard, Regenerator. It doesn't really matter. It sort of just kind of depends on what it is you want to do there. And you're going to see she's going to have 4,982 HP, 7 defense, 12 spirit, 70 agility, 217 dex, and 258 luck. So the luck on her board isn't very high, but the luck on her base stats is quite high, so you can get up to 300 of this luck, right, with the luck card that someone else is going to be wearing in the build. She holds the Shiva card very, very, very well, because the Shiva card, when maxed out, right, notably everyone uses it for the 20 evasion rate, or as you're leveling up, you get the 15 evasion rate, 16 evasion rate as you're trying to level it up. But it also has a bunch of magic stat on it, 170 magic once maxed out. Not a lot of characters and a lot of dodge builds really utilize the magic. Fryevia does, so she's got a pretty good luck stat. She's in the top 10 base luck characters in the game there. So once you have that luck card, like I say, you go up to 300 luck, you're gonna get the dodge there. Tetrasulfide here, once you're able to max this Esper, it does do quite a few things here with this build that we have for Tetrasulfide. It is going to give you 60 magic to help you out there, 16 agility, pretty decent there, a little bit of luck, 58, 62 dexterity. And then for this build, we're going down here, guys. We're taking all of the evasion nodes. We're going to get a little bit of accuracy. You can get the critical evasion boost, or you can get the accuracy boost here with these 30 leftover SP. but we're also going to be taking wind resistance as well. So you're going to have a lot of wind resist from having Tetrasylphlete equipped. You're going to have a lot of evasion up as well. So if we go ahead and look at our stats overall, we're going to have 57 wind resistance, 37 magic resistance, 53 evasion with this build here. So not bad overall. This is a pretty solid start here. The support skills Emerald Echo, this is going to help you out, right? It's going to increase the duration of the buffs that you cast, especially the ones on yourself by 1 turn. This does affect, from what I have heard from a lot of players in the Discord, and what I've seen, does affect things like Florid Hairpin here. Anything that's like increase X by 1 turn, it does affect that. So this is going to actually be a 2-turn buff. You're able to utilize that extra magic buff for an extra turn there. If you want to be more supportive, you don't really care about that, you can take Savior's Protection here and go up to 49% magic resist as well there. The counter skill, like we said before, Magic Guard, Dispel, Counter, Regenerator. It's kind of up to you. If you want to be able to dispel buffs every once in a while if you get hit, right, you are very survivable, 5k HP. That could be something you can do, right? Dispel an attack buff or an agility buff or regen or whatever it is. If a tank hits you, you can dispel their defense buff, protect, shell, things of that nature. Or if you want to recover some HP every single turn, right, 10% from a generator, if it's maxed out, about 500 HP regen, you can be self-sufficient in that way. We already wrote White Mage on her. She's going to be utilized as a very strong supportive option. Build up those AP points using the heals and the protects and the shells, things of that nature. Have access to the full life and clutch situations there. Her magic stat isn't super high, right? Not very super high in comparison to a lot of other characters like Medina, who have like 800, 900 magic with the rods, etc., all of those other things. But she does get to take advantage of slash attack up bonuses. You can put her in a party in PvE in other situations where you have things like Echoing Screams or Secret Orders and things of that nature to give her that bonus slash up. And then also on top of that, remember the Ice brand, Ice Attack 30 up is there as well. So if you have something like Secret Orders or something like Echoing Screams, like we just got done talking about, Echoing Screams, for example, maxed out is going to give you 35 slash attack. This takes it to 40, 50, 80 slash mod increase. Very effective there. And she does do a good job at surviving with this build through a lot of wind damage as well. 57% wind resistance. She's cutting damage dealt to her specifically from any sort of wind damage by up to almost 60%, which is a huge decrease in damage, and she does have that 5k HP. So that's going to be the starter build there. Let's go ahead and take a look at another build here. She does have that 53 dodge, and once you get that luck up, she's going to have 300 almost agility, or not agility, 300 agility would be crazy, 300 luck. So she's going to have this dodge build with 5k HP, taking less damage from holies. It's a pretty cool build. Now, this is going to be a different build. This is going to be a tankier build with, as you can see, less magic, a little bit less HP, but she's going to have a lot of resistances to a lot of other effects in the game. So this is going to be your anti-slashing resist. You can even make this like an anti-missile resist build if you're so inclined. The only thing we're swapping up here, we're staying with Ice Brand, but now we're going to be using golden armor. You can also substitute this for the iron armor. This is because we're going for the slash resistance on the body piece here. More HP from the body piece. Defense up here, 18. We're going with the shield type. That is definitely what you want to go with, because it's going to be anti-slashing or anti-missile here. Now, the TMR of your choice here, the best one obviously would be the Illusionary Bell. It's going to be able to fill up her AP gauge faster. It does not necessarily need to be this one, but we already have HP, we already have defense, we already have things of that nature. So if we pick her own TMR, which you can do, you're kind of wasting a lot of the stats on it, right? The defense and the spirit, kind of not really that crazy, because we're not really aiming for an anti-everything build, anti-dodge, all of this other stuff. We're not really aiming for that. This is specifically for us to try to beat out slashing damage as much as possible. We're going with Siren here, max slash resist up, a little bit of evasion to counteract perhaps some of the negative evasion on your armor if you care about that. We have the critical hit rate up, we have the increased accuracy as well. And then we're going to be using the Snow White Guard card, because not only does this give you slash resistance increase and missile resistance increase, and it gives the party ability of crit damage up increase of 18, it also has a fair amount of magic stat on it for it being a tanky card. It also does decrease your HP by 15%. Luckily, her master ability helps you out there in that regard a little bit, but you're going to get a little bit of magic up here, so you're not really losing as much magic as you will doing some other card and is a tanky vision card on her. You're going to have 43 slash resist, 20 missile resist, 37 magic resist, and you're still having the 15 slash up and the 30 ice damage up as well. This is not an evasion build, so instead of having 53 dodge, we have 4, all right? It's things of that nature. You can still run Emerald Echo here if you want to, or you can also just go Savior's Protection, get that extra magic resist up. So now you have 43 slash, 49 magic, and 20 missile resistance there. So it's a pretty strong build here. It's going to make her heal a little bit less, do a little bit less damage, but she's going to be much more survivable, less less reliant, I want to say, on dodging specific things. I do still like the other build personally better, but this one might be something you guys can get your hands on more easily, right? You don't need the golden armor, you can get the iron plate. You don't need the illusory bell. It's just a really strong option for her because it's a really strong option for everyone, right? So it's a really strong option for everybody. So why not her as well? Now the next build here, this is going to be very similar to the other build, but this is going to be anti-missile resistance instead of slashing resistance here. So instead of the golden armor, we have the golden helm because of the 8 missile resistance. In the future, there's going to be a platinum helm that gives you 10 missile resistance. TMR is still the same, card is still the same, and then we have a really weird version of Odin here. So Odin here does not have that much magic on it, but what we're going to do here, you can either pick between Odin or you can pick between a free. What you can do with Odin is you can take missile resistance here, and you can take human killer on him as well as some accuracy increase here. So what this is going to do, it's going to give you that human killer to add to the multiplier of your skills. You're losing out on a little bit more magic, but you're gaining that human killer in comparison to the last build, and you're going up to 43% missile resistance. You can do this with the 43 missile res and the 32 win res. Very powerful build if you want to go this route, if you don't have the other Tetra Fleet option for you. I will say, this is going to make you take a little bit less damage against characters like Lucia, right? Because you have 43 missile and 32 win res. Although the other one, the previous build, 57 win resistance. I've been able to mess around with this build. I don't have quite all the win resistance, but I mess around in real-time arena, things of that nature. It makes her very, very, very survivable against a lot of those attacks like sharpshoot, etc. So very, very survivable with this 5k HP and 57% win resistance. You might not need that, but this is going to be even more survivable against that stuff. Plus, you're going to help survive against any sort of missile damage going forward with this build. And then obviously Odin has a lot of agility, so as you can see, her agility goes up to 80 with this build, so she's pretty fast with this build. She's not the fastest character, she's not a ninja, but she can get up to 80 agility with this build. 262 luck as well before some sort of luck card involved, so you can put her as like a bulky, sort of like a bulky healer, supportive damage dealing character. You can put her in a dodge team, make her the sort of the last line of defense to full life something. If something goes wrong, you don't dodge an attack or two, then she'll full life, things of that nature. You can use her in that situation in PvE and in RTA. So the last build to talk about here, I think this is actually be her best build eventually, and this is going to be an iteration of the first build. Now, this is still using Ice Brand, but we're swapping things up here with the accessory and the TMR slot. This is going to be the Helm of the Sworn. This is Gilgamesh's headpiece, and not a lot of mages get to use this because it's an actual helmet. But what it does do, it gives 382 HP, 8 defense, 8 spirit, and the activation skill is very similar to her own TMR, but instead of it being 70% attack and 70% magic and wind killer, which you might not use all this stuff all the time. You don't really care about the 70% attack a lot of the time because you're trying to use it up. You're going to use that skill into your limit burst, into Blizzaga Blade, Chicken Blade, things of that nature. This gives you 150% magic for one turn. This is going to skyrocket your magic in this build once we take it off here, because it's right now, guys, to be frank with you, it's applying the 150% magic in the builder to the magic stat here. So we take it off. If we were to put it back on, it's going to jumpstart us up to 786 magic. She has 663 magic in this build, but you're going to get 150%. You're going to be up to almost 1,000 magic. And yes, just like her Trustmaster reward, Emerald Echo is going to extend that by an additional turn as well. So you're going to be able to use the Helm of the Swarm effect, use her Limit Burst, use Blizzaga Blade when you're ready to throw down and show down with your opponents. And it's going to result in some nasty things going wrong for your enemies there. And it also does have 8 defense and 8 spirit, so that can help you out there. And the other thing that you can utilize here, because right, we are using a TMR already, you have the Hermes sandals. This is obviously the +5 version, which might take you to 2027, if not longer to get, but you're really looking for the dodge Hermes sandals here. You're going to get 6 agility to help you go faster. You're going to get 12 evasion to help you be dodgier, because this is still a dodge build. And then the +5 version will give you 10 more evasion. Obviously, if you don't have the +5, then you won't get the extra 10. So you're going to get 10 to 22 dodge here from up to the +5s. And then we're still using the same build for Tetrasophlede. We're still using the same card with the Shiva card, and this is what is going to help us out here in the long run. So what do you do here for this counter skill? Like I said, Dispel, Counter, Regenerator, whatever it is that you want. Magic Guard, if something, you know, you don't dodge it and the magic meta comes out, right? Stuff like Holy, you can't dodge it, so you can have Magic Guard get in there and help you mitigate that damage on top of your resistances. That is a very strong pick in these situations. That might end up being the go-to for you guys in a lot of situations as well. Sub job, I would still pick White Mage here for you guys as well. You could also think about taking Green Mage in a real-time combat situation if you are someone who does do the real-time PvP, just strictly so you can always have the option to hit people with Ruin in those situations if you're not trying to utilize her as a White Mage, as a healer, a bulky bruiser. She's a very flexible character, very bulky character. As you can see, she's got 5,027 HP with this build. 76 agility, like we talked about, 258 luck. She gets up to 300 luck almost with someone with a luck card in your party. And that's going to help you aim, it's going to help you hit, it's going to help you dodge, and she still has 57 evasion. 57 is actually higher than the first one with these Hermes sandals because they go up to 22, whereas the Mithril armor goes up to 18. Obviously, if you have the +0 Hermes sandals, you're going to have 47 evasions, be a little bit less there. You're going to have a little bit of agility. That's going to be worth a couple points of evasion there for you. But this is a very, very, very solid build in the long run. Additional options that you guys could be thinking about. Remember, guys, weapon selection doesn't have to be Ice Brand. It is very powerful. The crit Ice Brand is very powerful. Nagnarok is something else you guys can be using. You want the Magic Nagnarok or the Magic Sleet Blade. Very solid options there. And I talked about it before for the previous build with the golden armor. If you don't want to be using the golden armor, you can go ahead and utilize a different piece of armor called the Iron Plate. I have one of these made. It's very easy to make because it's an R rank. Very weird to say that, an R rank piece of gear, and it gives you 6 slash resist. So you can find a lot of the stuff for this in the story mode. You can go in there if you want to do an anti-slash build for either Fryevia, or if you're just tuning in and you're building up your mod or someone else that intrigues you, slash resistance, Iron Plate, you can go out there and get it in that way as well. As far as other vision cards that you can use, there are some other things you can do, but the main thing with those vision cards is you're going to be sacrificing a lot of magic trying to put those ones on. That's really something that you could be thinking about there, is how much magic you're going to be sacrificing with those vision cards when you're putting them on. You could put on something like Leonis Castle. You know, I think people have been talking about this. I was a big proponent of this card. This card still is very, very strong. 15 defense, 15 spirit, increases critical hit rate of your party. It only has 21 magic on it, guys, so you'll be sacrificing a lot of stats. You can see our magic is now plummeting down to 461 attack. And then it is a relatively new Esper, and probably people haven't had the opportunity to work on it quite yet, but we do have the Ochu card or the Ochu Esper, not the card, the Ochu Esper that I want to talk about here very quickly here. It is a very strong option for her for a slash resist build as well. So let's go plug this into the slash resist build. If you don't want to use Siren, you can go in here, you can use the Ochu Esper. It is going to give you less slash, but it is going to give you some nicer stats. It's another option in case you're using the Siren Esper on somebody else. So this can give you up to, it looks like 15% slash resistance there. It does give you a little bit of magic percent here as well. You can get up to, you know, a little bit of magic, get up to 15% bonus magic. You can get some extra accuracy there because we don't really care about that. And you also can get not only the accuracy, but you can get some wind resistance as well. So you're going to be losing some wind resist for equipping an Earth Esper. You can gain some of that back. And if you don't care about that, then you can also go down in here and pick up some of this nice lightning killer. So you can pick between lightning killer to be more offensive. You can pick between that or wind resistance to be more defensive. Make sure you don't get absolutely demolished by those wind characters out there. And you can put this in here, and you can also be pretty tanky versus other damage types, right? You're going to have the 5% lightning resist, 33% slash resist. It's another option for you there, and it is going to have a decent amount of magic as well, because you can pick up some of these magic stats here for your characters. So that's going to be another option for you there, guys. Let me know which one you are looking forward to building the most. Let me know how you're building your Fryevia, right? What weapon you're using, what armor you're working on. I'm personally going for a build kind of like this one that we talked about, the first dodge build. I am going to probably, you know, one day in 2088, when I've gotten enough Gilgamesh shards to get a Helm of the Sworn. I know I have a couple of friends, especially some people in the Discord and in the guild, who have Helm of the Sworn. Like, hey, you would just want to send that over to me real quick. I'll make good use of it. I promise you. And they're like, I don't think we can do that, boss. It's not in the game yet. So thank you guys so much for spending some time here today. Hopefully this helped you guys out. These are some very, very strong builds for our girl Fryevia. Let me know what you thought about it down below and what you're working on. Until then, guys, stay safe. I am going to have one for rain probably today as well. And then until then, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.